couple of years ago, the very idea of a sentient AI was sci-fi, really. Last summer, Blake Lemoine claimed there was something terrible happening inside Google. It created a living, feeling, thinking being. Lemoine was an engineer at Google employed within its responsible AI team, making sure the AI was free of bias and other problems. In that job, he chatted to Google's language model for dialogue applications, or LaMDA. He said through those conversations he'd become convinced that it was sentient, that it was self-aware, that it had feelings. If they were sentient, then he said they shouldn't be switched off or experimented on or prodded around by Google engineers. The company denied it, and so he released the chats so he could show the world, but the world wasn't very convinced. But then, late last year, everything changed. OpenAI released ChatGPT, and a lot more people became convinced. They found that they could ask for just about anything from ChatGPT and get it back. You could ask for a Shakespearean sonnet about someone eating a car, for instance, and then it would give one. You could ask what an opera sung by a giraffe might sound like. Those examples, by the way, came from ChatGPT itself. It seemed like you were speaking to something that was really sentient, but was it really? It might have just been the first time that humans spoke to something that could answer back. GPT is a large language model, which means really that it's a system built to predict the next word that is most likely to come up. Far from being a kind of thinking AI, it's actually more like a very complicated version of autocomplete. If you give it a few words, then it has the whole corpus of English literature and lots of the internet to know what the most likely fifth word of those 4 words you've given it are. Yeah, and you see these weird things where people will say, wow, this is remarkably similar to the kinds of things people say in sci-fi. And that's because it's taken them from sci-fi. There's no there's no coincidence there. It's read everything we've ever written about how terrified we are of AI, and is then asked, in what ways are you terrifying? And it searches through its big database of all the ways that humans are terrified of AI and gives us back what we'd said. And we and I suppose it's something like ego, really, to go, wow, all those things we said have come true. When actually we made them true, there's no magic there. If you ask ChatGPT to write you a 10-word story about a cat, it would give you what it knows from referencing the internet. These are the kind of thing that humans write about cats. When we asked for that 10-word story about the cat, it gave us stray cat found love, home, and endless cuddles with kind-hearted human. It has this massive database of practically everything that's ever been said. So it knows what words tend to come together. It knows that stray tends to come with cats. It knows that cats tend to come with cuddles. It knows that humans tend to like cats, and that those words are all kind of bunched together as a set of information that it can then use the rest of its smarts to kind of pull together into a functional sentence. The image generators were actually the first AI tool to go viral in the way that ChatGPT is now. ChatGPT is the most popular, but dall-e was actually the first to hit the mainstream. When we asked ChatGPT to give us 21 words to describe what a tree would look like, it gave us words like trunk, textured, branching, and leaves. We then fed those words to dall-e, the image generator, and this is what it produced. At first glance and first use, this is an incredible experience. This tree doesn't exist and has been generated only out of a bunch of abstract descriptions. But look a little closer. Once you start to examine the tree a little bit more, it's a bit odd. Its limbs point off in different directions. The canopy behind it seems oddly close to the ground. It's hard to get a sense of how this space will be organized. Everything's just a little uncanny. Often when working with AI, something just feels off about the things it produces, and it's hard to say exactly what. That mystery is baked into the very way that AI works. Experts call them black box models because you can see what's going in, you can see what's coming out, but you can't see what's in the middle. AI systems are built on neural networks. They kind of form relationships in the same way that neurons do in the brain. And actually, it's a useful analogy because trying to work out what's going on in that black box is a bit similar to opening up someone's head, looking at a brain and trying to work out what their favorite color is. There's something missing, something ultimately unknowable. So the problem is that you don't know what's going on inside, and you don't know how it's coming to make the decisions that it does, which also means that it might be biased or kind of problematic in other ways that you don't even know about. That's already happened loads of times. You've had, for instance, researchers try and build AI systems that can predict who's most likely to commit a crime, and then on that basis decide policing policy or sentencing policy in the courts. The problem is that it could, for instance, be, and it has been, racist, essentially. give and more weighted towards deciding that, say, black people are more likely to commit crime. All these AIs have fed loads of information that is from people in the real world. And those people have biases and other kinds of problematic views that are then reflected within the system, and you don't even necessarily know about it. Google's concern, lots of other AI people's concerns, is about safety, security, because, however powerful these are is also how dangerous they are. And there's a kind of ceasefire among the kind of advanced AI developers to say, like, let's not let this hack the world, because it could be terrible. People will lose their jobs, or at least have them severely affected by them. And people will fall victim to AI-generated misinformation that will make it so much harder to tell what's real from what's not. But at the same time, it seems unlikely that the very worst predictions, that AI could become sentient and want to wipe us all out through robotics, are anywhere near coming true, if they ever will. Maybe the last words should go to ChatGPT, which I asked to write the closing words of this video. From self-driving cars to medical breakthroughs, the potential of AI is immense. As we continue to explore this technology, we must also consider the potential ethical and societal implications. But one thing is certain: AI is set to revolutionize the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us.